everybody. Hey, I'm going to do a real short video here, or at least I'm expecting it to be short. When a lot of people ask one question, then I think it's better for me just to do a video, and that way everybody hopefully can hear the answer instead of me writing one by one. Why are Gloria and I here in Dumaguete? Does Gloria have family here? Do we have some relatives or situation that has brought us here? No. When I decided to come to the Philippines, well, back up a little bit. I was in the Navy. I was stationed in a place called Naval Communications Station San Miguel. That's way up in Luzon, the island of Luzon, and it's 1 hour north of Subic Bay. I know a lot of people, when they hear, oh, you were in the Navy, you must have been at Subic Bay. Well, normally those days, you know, all the ships pulled into Subic Bay, but I wasn't on a ship. 4 years in the Navy, never on a ship, but that's another story in itself. But I was stationed in Luzon in a little place called San Miguel. So I had good memories there. I had an apartment off base, and I mingled with the people. Of course, I didn't know the language at that time. So anyway, I had very good memories of that. And so, and if you know our love story, Gloria was my helper, and then I fell in love and moved to the States, and in the States for 40 years. So when I was going to retire from not from the Navy, I was only 4 years, by the way, in the Navy. I never retired. I'm not military retired. But when I retired from teaching, I was a public school teacher, 6th grade, also taught 4th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade for a while, but mostly 6th grade. When I thought about retiring, I wanted to live someplace else. And I spent some time in Mexico when I was a kid, and that's why I learned Spanish. So my first thought was, hey, I'm going to retire in Mexico. We did live in Mexico for 2 years. San Miguel de Allende is a large expat population there. But it was hard on Gloria because she didn't speak Spanish, and the cobblestones was very rough on her. She fell down a couple times, sprained her ankle, so not too good of memories there, although I enjoyed it. So we decided to go to the Philippines. I didn't know where to go. Of course, my first thought was the only place where I had memories, which was in Luzon Island, San Miguel. But I got on the internet like a lot of guys, probably most guys, and I went to a website called livingincebuforums.com, and met a fellow there named Paul, and he said, yeah, come on over and I'll get you set up here with the place or something. And so which I think is a good idea, salesman going down the neighborhood, I made a recon run, go there by myself for 2 months, and then I was going to find a place and then go back, get Gloria, sell everything, and then come here. So I did. I landed in Cebu City. That's where the plane landed. Paul had sent a taxi driver up to get me, to take me down to where he lived in Karkar. So he had an apartment, there was an apartment right across the street from where he lived. I stayed there, and I said to myself, well, I know one place I don't want to live. That's Karkar. Sorry, people live in Karkar. I love you, but it's just the traffic was a lot, even for a small town. A lot of traffic, a lot of pollution. There's an intersection of 2 main roads there, and I think that's what causes the congestion, and of course pollution, noise. So as I was talking with the people, they said the farther south you go on Cebu Island, the more peaceful it's going to be. So I got on a bus, I went down, After about an hour on the bus, I saw a little town, had a beautiful marketplace there. And so I said, I'm going to get off here and check it out. So I got out there and I nosed it around, and there weren't too many foreigners there. But there was a young man there that lived there, a British fella, and he introduced me to a lady that was renting out a room. So I stayed in her room for the second month. Well, I said to myself, I think this is where we want to stay. This was, by the way, it was called Dumaguete. It looks like Dumaguete, but they pronounce it Dumaguete. So when I went back, I told Laura, I found a nice little sleepy village for us to stay in. So we packed up everything, put most of the stuff in store, well, everything in storage that we didn't bring. We came over here, we stayed with our friend in her back room. Uh-oh. Let's see what this is. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Ano nangyari? Anong balita?
Sir, may promo po kami hintay.
Ano yan?
10 pesos lang, dalawa na.
Ano yan? Ay?
Oh, powder, panglaba. Bili ka ng 1 dozen, sir.
Anong number mo? O, Tide yung
Tide, sir.
company mo. Oh, para...
Bayad ka, gusto ka gusto na, sir. 120, 54 na kasasya.
Ito na nga sa ko. Ani? Tide?
With freshness, with down in
Tide, ma'am.
Oh, gagawin.
Sir, palitin.
Ayos yan, boss ko.
Ikaw, sir. Sir, basahin mo.
Selling little packets of Tide. There's not a group. They had a little Tide t-shirt and cap, so maybe it's a what do you call it, promotion of some kind. But anyway, back to the story. Oh, I'm afraid it's going to be a longer video. I don't want to divide it into two parts, so I'm going to talk a little bit faster and cut out a lot of the details. So we moved to Dumaguete. We stayed with our friend in her house for a month, and we saw just down the street they were remodeling a house, and they were going to rent the house, and it was for $10,000 a month. So to make a long story short, we moved into that house. We stayed there 3 years, but it was so noisy, and it was right on the highway, so it was noisy, and but here's where my favorite city comes in. We would go to Dumaguete, maybe 2, 3, 4 times a month. It was 1 hour. We get on the bus, it's 1 hour down to the ferry, the end of the island, catch a ferry for 20 minutes, and then get a tricycle to take us downtown. We'd shop around, go to Robinson's Mall, and go to McDonald's, and Dumaguete, it was so small. And compared to the more modern city, I just liked the convenience. So there's a thing in Dumaguete when we lived there. It's such a small little town. They said, oh, we're going to be very modern. We've got an ATM machine, and once it gets plugged in, then we're going to be big time modern city. So anytime we wanted to go to the mall, we had to go up to Car an hour, or an hour over to Dumaguete. And we just liked the atmosphere in Dumaguete. Well, my mom's health was going down after we'd been there about 3 years. It was going down. My brother said, you need to come to California, be with mom, and until the end. So Gloria and I essentially moved everything from Dumaguete. We moved back to California, and we moved in with my mother, and we stayed there and took care of her and watched out for her for a little over a year. I think it was 13 months. Finally, she was 85, by the way. Finally, her health was so bad, that we all gathered around her in her bed and she passed away. So that was a very sad thing. And then we put her house up for sale and just took care of that. So at that time we decided we're going to go back to the Philippines because we enjoyed it here. But where to go? Well, I told Gloria, I said, you know, we'd always liked it there in Dumaguete. Why don't we just go straight there? So we didn't know where to go exactly. We went to the mall, you know, and did the shopping stuff. But as far as living, we didn't know really any place to live, you know, to set up our new home. So we, I think I found it on the internet, but Andy's Secret Garden, I believe is the name of it. It was a resort right on the beach. And so we decided we would stay there until we found a place. So we stayed there. Well, we rented a place, a room, for a month. You know, you can get a month discount on most resorts if you're going to be there a while. I think you can get a weekly discount also, but we got a monthly discount. And then we put out the word, we're looking for a place, and lo and behold, within 2 weeks, a tricycle driver, not Tano, but another one, said, I know someone that's renting a house. So we went and looked at it, we liked it, very good rent price, $10,000, which was within our budget. And so Gloria wanted to move there right away. Of course, me, being correput, I said, honey, we still have 2 more weeks left on, on the resort. No, we're moving. So she moved, or we moved, and it was a furnished house, so we didn't have to buy furniture or anything, although we replaced the furniture with what we have now. But, you know, I felt to get my money's worth. I went back almost every day. I had breakfast there. I got on the internet. I just spent some time in that resort that I had already paid for. So once that was used up, and of course the owner of the resort, Andy, said he's not going to rent it out just because whether we're there or whether we're not there. So anyway, so now that's how we found this place, and we've been here, oh gee, it's a little over 2 years now, and I just love it. I mean, it's very nice. We just got lucky. What can I say? But this is not, Gloria's family is not in Dumaguete, and the family is not even on the island of Negros. And I'll just tell you something that's private. But when I told her originally, I want to move to the Philippines, and you know, us being married so long, I don't do something without her permission. Kind of like buying that tide. She said no. I said, honey, buy tide? No. But I told people, hey, she said no. Sabi ayaw, asawa ko. She said, there's one main condition. We'll move to the Philippines and live there, but we will not go anywhere near my family. If you've seen our love story on Rated K, you'll know that she has had a very bad childhood, horrendous, and she has still physical and mental and emotional scars from that. So it was easy for me to agree to that. So anyway, that's why we live in Dumaguete, and I can't say that I've been all over the Philippines and decided that Dumaguete was the best. I can't. I mean, only time we've been to Manila is going to the airport and up to do that filming for Rated K, and then I can't say I've been to any other island. We've been to the Cebu, Dumaguete for those 3 years, but we didn't travel around, and I haven't traveled around a lot. I would like to, I really would. But, and I haven't been to Mindanao, I haven't been to the other Visayan Islands. I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful, wonderful places. But this is the place that we found right off the bat, and like I tell people, you know, when I found my wife, she was the one for me. why look, why look at any others? She's the best. She's for me. She's perfect. So that's the way I feel about Dumaguete. I'd like to go visit other islands, other cities, but I think this is where we're going to put down our roots habang buhay. So anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your comments and your subscribing. And until next time, catch you later. Bye-bye.